Sunday, everybody. My name is Deidrey Francois. Welcome to Here to Bloom, episode number 27. And this is a sacred place for seekers and learners just like you and me. And you are absolutely welcome here. This is your place. This is my place, and I am welcome here. Here I am free to learn to grow and share. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within. Sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within. Sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. This is my place. This is our place. And I am welcome here. Here I am free to learn to grow and share. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within. Sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within. Sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. Now let's put our hands together. Sing hallelujah, amen. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Come on now. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Come on now. Sing hallelujah, amen. That's it. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within. Sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within. Sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. This is my place. This is our place. This is my place. Oh my goodness, welcome, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for your presence here today. Thank you for being here. I'm so thrilled and super happy. Yes, you are absolutely the reason that I keep going. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody who was here last week and who participated. I'm so grateful for your likes and your shares and your comments. Oh my goodness. Speaking of shares, I just need you to take a moment and just hit that share button on your screens. And if you would just share it with someone, a friend, family, I don't know, random person walking down the street, whatever, just post it on your Facebook, invite someone. It would mean the absolute world to me. Would you please check out my website at www.deidrey.com, where you will find all kinds of great musical content, including both this show Here to Bloom and everything else that I do, including Sofa Songfest and a few other services that I do, like virtual performances. And I do them with groups and homes and private parties, as well as singing telegrams. I love doing those. This is just a beautiful, wonderful, personal way of bringing absolute joy and appreciation to our loved ones. So if you know of any opportunity, please do share my information with that person and reach out to me. Let me know how I can bring some musical joy to somebody in your life. And check out Facebook as well. If you have not yet hit that follow or that like button on Facebook, I encourage you to do so. I do share some of my own personal stories there, and I also share some other, great musical content and my viewpoints on other things as well. So if you would take a moment and just, check it out after. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel. And as well, you will find all kinds of great musical content there too, including some of my, stuff that I did on the tours. You'll find jazz, you'll find blues, you'll find all kinds of other kinds of music that I do, including Here to Bloom. And I just want to fill up this space with beautiful, like-minded folks just like you and me. So I do encourage you also to leave a comment at the bottom of this video in the live and public section of the video. That actually means a whole lot to me. And just so you know, all of the songs that you hear on this show are all written by me, unless I state so otherwise. I like to start with my intention. It is my intention to share my gift of song, my love and my passion and my poetry, and I ask that it be done without judgment. Let it be done in humility and grace. Let it be done in love and light. And know what I offer here are my experiences, readings, tidbits, friends, and everything that I've kind of learned along the way. This one is called Spread the Love Around. Here we go. Spread the love around. Spread the love around. Spread it high, spread it wide. Fill the sky to the ground. Let's do that again. Spread the love around. Spread the love around. Spread it high, spread it wide. Fill the sky to the ground. Let's do joy. Spread the joy around. Spread the joy around. High. Spread it high, spread it wide. Fill the sky to the ground. Let's do peace. Spread the peace around. Spread the peace around. Spread it high, spread it wide. Fill the sky to the ground. Spread it high and spread it wide. Fill the sky to the ground. Oh my goodness. Absolutely do spread your joy. You know what? Today we have a very special guest with us, and her name is Noreen Kelty, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Noreen. Noreen is an inspirational consultant, motivational speaker, and wellness coach with years of experience helping people successfully lose weight and reduce stress. And Noreen's unique brand of energy has inspired so many to live a healthier and more joy-filled life. And her positive and contagious enthusiasm that you're going to see it just powerfully ignites self-awareness and transformational experiences, and she combines compassion and skillfulness, and she enables her clients to connect deeply with their feelings, resulting in their willingness to take action. And Noreen is a certified Jack Canfield Success Principles trainer. She is a former Weight Watchers International facilitator for 10 years, and she is a certified Kripalu yoga instructor and Let Your Yoga dance instructor. Noreen has developed exceptional techniques for inspiring positive change, weight loss, and beyond. So would you join me in giving a really warm heart, joy-filled welcome to Noreen. Hi, Noreen.
Hi, Deidrey. How are you?
I'm
so
great.
Yeah, live up to that introduction.
All right, Noreen. You know what? I want to start with what led you to understanding your calling of finding joy? Tell us some more about that.
Well, it's so interesting because it came from me myself feeling overwhelmed and desperate. I had been putting on a lot of weight after my children were born, and it's such an easy escape to just eat that food. And I was about 40 pounds overweight. I couldn't button my clothes. I was really devastated when I decided to join Weight Watchers. And when I first went, I didn't really like the leader, and I didn't think I was going to be able to even do the process. And then I found a leader that I really liked, and I joined with a friend of mine. And this leader was funny and compassionate and really just a joy. And I loved going to the meetings, and I went on to lose in excess of 40, 50 pounds. And I was so excited about the whole thing that I decided I wanted to go on and help people do the same thing, have the same success I had. So I became a leader. And as soon as I went into those meeting rooms and stood in front of those people, I knew I found my calling. But then what was even more important was I would see the people come in with this desperate, overwhelmed feeling, just like I did. And then after a few weeks, they would be smiling and laughing. And I got so excited of the prospect of it all because I like to play music. I always close my meetings with music. And I just created this atmosphere in the room where people felt safe. And I knew this was mine to do. It just came very naturally to me. So I was excited about it. And I have to tell you, I used to say, the problem is we get so overwhelmed. And then we go into this place of forget it, what the heck syndrome, which I call just forget it. So I wore these little shoes. In fact, I have them here. I still wear them. Little sneakers around my neck to say small steps lead to big success. And once I started to use that concept and lead these meetings, I knew this was all I was supposed to do. It was like so natural and so real for me to just be excited and having fun. In fact, this is the other thing I had.
I love it. Woohoo!
People started to always say that. I feel good when they start. I would talk, okay, tell me about your success. Tell me how you did this, whatever changed this week. And they would always say, I feel good. So somebody said, they have a doll. And of course, I got this doll and it became like the cry at my meetings. Everybody knew it. And I still meet people 100 miles from my house. And all of a sudden I hear someone singing, I feel good. And I go, oh no. And I look and it's at one of my meetings. So I just know that I was meant to do this. I feel it in my heart. And again, I try to not stay in my head. I stay in my heart. And ever since I've really been doing it like that, I've had tremendous success.
Well, you know what's coming next. I feel good. I knew that I would. I feel good. I knew that I would. So good, so good. I got you. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. Oh, I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So nice, so nice. I got you. Ow! When I hold you in my arms, I know I can do no wrong. When I hold you in my arms, my love won't do you no harm, and I feel nice, like sugar and spice. Oh yeah, I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So nice, so nice. I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know I can do no wrong. When I hold you in my arms, my love can do me no harm, and I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. Come on, everybody, shake it for me. So nice, so nice. I got you. Ow! I feel good, you know. I knew I would. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I feel good. I said I knew I would. Well, let me tell you, because I feel really, really good about this. Noreen is the author of this beautiful book here, and it's called Living in Joy, Creating Positive Change, One Small Glorious Step at a Time. And I got to tell you, in chapter 7, the title says that you can't be in two places at one time. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, Noreen, please?
Well, when I started to run these meetings, people were always beating themselves up. No matter what happened or what they were doing, they were beating themselves up. And I was always saying to them over and over, you can't be in two places at the same time. You can't be beating yourself up and building yourself up. And my whole premise at my meetings was all about building yourself up. Gratitude, building yourself up, looking at the good point. And so I found myself saying over and over, you can't be in two places at the same time. And then I started to say, oh, that's going to be the name of my book, because I'm going to write that book, because I was saying it so many times. And I really always felt that you can't. In fact, I even had a thing at my meetings where I'd be going like this. Oh, I'd slump over and start going, oh, I can't do this for me. And then I'd stand up tall and say, this is great. And people would laugh and come back to the meeting and say, oh, that was such a good point. Yes, I walk around feeling sorry for myself and telling myself I can't do it and all that. But if I can, and maybe that's why the I Feel Good became so popular, because it, again, was a point of you can't be in two places at the same time. You must choose. And I'll be telling you this through this whole program, because I think that's such an important point. You can't be in two places at the same time. And there's another chapter, no, it's not that one, another one about love versus fear. So again, you can be in love and you can't be in fear. And there's a whole nother part of there about we scare ourselves in our head. But if we stay in our heart, it's a whole different ball game. So part of my thing was to always be accentuating the positive, accentuating the positive. In fact, I thought that was going to be the name of my business, because I knew I was going to make my own business. I kept saying accentuate the positive, but then I changed it to you bring me joy, because I started to feel like, yeah, that's what it's about. What brings you joy?
Since we truly cannot live in two places at once, we need to be willing to let go of the things that we don't want and to invite and focus on the things that we absolutely do want in our lives. So here is my song called I Let Go of the Things. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. Sadness, get out the door. Come on now. Joy, come on in. Despair, get out the door. I said peace, come on in. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. Away hatred, get out the door. Love, come on in. Doubt, get out the door. Faith, come on in. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. I said failure, get out the door. Come on now, go on now. Success, come on in. Limitations, get out the door. Abundance, come on in. Oh yes, I let go of the things that I no longer need. I'll let in all I need to set my soul free. I let go of the things that I no longer need. I let in all I need to set my soul free. Isolation, Noreen, you mentioned about, basically about living in our hearts. And I really want to just sort of touch on that. What does it mean to follow or to live by our hearts? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, again, with the love versus fear, I really believe that fear is in our head. Fear is how we scare ourselves. Fear is uncertainty, doubt, when we're beating ourselves up, all those things. And love is when we're in our hearts, not in our heads. We're in our hearts. We're open. We're certain. Like when I stood in front of those rooms doing it, I knew this was what I was supposed to be doing. There was no doubt. There was certainty. It was positive. It was joy. And I began to practice. I like to put my hand on my heart and think about it. And I started to follow so many things after that. I did a marathon. I went on to get divorced, which that isn't good news, but it could be if, it's the right thing for you. And so many things that happened were because I really got quiet and followed my heart. And really important, it's a practice because the more you do it, the more you strengthen that muscle. It's like any other muscle in your body. The more you do it, the more you strengthen it. So in this pandemic and all the stuff happening, I put my hands on my heart, which was really a practice that I had learned at some retreats I was at. And it's just like, what does my heart have to say today? And so instead of being in your scared head, you get quiet, you use the breath. I'm a yoga teacher too, and I've got very connected to the breath because the breath brings you into the present moment. And that's where all of life takes place. Most of the time, we're worried about what's about to happen or what just happened. But if we can just breathe in this present moment and hold our heart and be silent, I just sat and said, okay, tell me what you have to tell me today. And then I took another deep breath and I took another deep breath. And then I also said, what is mine to do? Because once you get into the more breaths you take, the deeper it goes. And the question came, what is mine to do during this time? What is mine to do? And my answer was, use your unbridled enthusiasm for Karen Drucker's music. She's a musician that I know. And I said, use that unbridled enthusiasm, which is something that Jack Canfield said I had, and I loved it when he said that. And I said, use it to do a house concert for her. And I knew it was right. I knew I was 100% sure that this is what I was supposed to do. And I called up Karen and I wound up having this Zoom concert. And through the process of it, I was finding all this unexpected joy. People were in contact with me. People were excited. People said, thank you for bringing us together. We're so disappointed with all the stuff that's happening in the world. And then I had a conversation with you even. And it was so interesting because we were talking about, you were saying you were disappointed about not playing with, seeing the audience. And I was telling you about Kat, and you said, oh, and all of a sudden we were having a dance party. And there was more joy. There was more joy. People were getting in touch with me. People were excited. I can't believe you're doing this. This is great. And then I got in touch with somebody else who was the director of Let Your Yoga Dance, which was another practice that I was doing that brought me so much joy, dancing and music. And I held a concert for her. And now I'm getting into another one, laughter, heart-opening laughter. And all this stuff to me brought the focus of unexpected joy into my life during 2020. I started to write, I saw my daughter-in-law and she said, oh, I love that unexpected joy, because I was telling her I kept finding so much unexpected joy. And she said, oh, I'm going to use that as a journal prompt. And as soon as she said that, I said, oh, I'm going to start recording my unexpected joy in my journal. And I was running out of pages. And I said, it's so funny because once you start to focus on something, you see more of it. It's just like you buy a Toyota car, all of a sudden every car on the street is a Toyota. Or you find out you're pregnant, and then all you see is pregnant women. So this is what happened. I started to follow my heart and know for my highest good would be to focus on unexpected joy and gathering people for fun and connection and love and laughter and music was definitely the answer. And it's just gotten more and more and more. And I'm fascinated because everybody's talking about how bad everything is in 2020. And trust me, I know I've had plenty of disappointments in 2020. But I'm focusing on the unexpected joy. And I just keep receiving more of that and receiving more of that. So it's really, truly about creating that practice. I have a mirror practice too. I won't get into the whole thing, it is in the book. But again, strengthening that self love muscle. Because when I took off that weight, I used to do a fun acronym at my meetings, and the end was always nurture yourself, because that was my biggest lesson. Nurture yourself.
I think that the song Just As I Am That I Will Do For You Now is in alignment with what Noreen was saying about living by our hearts. And I think that in order to live by our hearts, we have to first really be connected with ourselves, understanding who we are, and being okay with who we are, loving ourselves just as we are and just as God made us. Here's Just As I Am. All I want to be is me. All I want to feel is free. All I want to do is to feel good within. just as God made me. Noreen, so tell me, what led you to writing this fabulous book? And I have to say, it's kind of hard to put it down because once you get started, it's so well written and it's just so, um, it's just real. Like it's just down to earth and it's like, there's just no BS about it. You just kind of let it out. And I love your authenticity and the integrity in this book. I just want to know what led you to writing this book?
Well, as I said before in the beginning, when I was at the meetings, I was always saying, oh, that's going to be my book. That's going to be my book because I was saying that same thing about can't be in two places at the same time. And then I always knew, again, when you know something in your heart, like I always knew I was going to write a book. But like everybody else, we put it off, we put it off. Things happened. I took workshops. I took a program once where it was wonderful. This woman said, okay, get out index cards. And anything you always say, put on one of those index cards. And then she had us sorted into categories. And oh, I was feeling so good about it. And then I took the cards and put them in a shoebox, and that was the end of that. Oh, it was a great program. I was excited, but like most times we put it off because life gets busy, life gets in the way. But in the back of my mind, or I should really say in the bottom of my heart, I knew I had a book to write. I knew I had a book to write. So life was going great. I was being really successful. I was meeting lots of people. I was coaching. I was doing all kinds of things. And then one day, I couldn't make it up the stairs of the Beacon Theater in New York City. I was going to see Mariah Carey. It was a Christmas show with my daughter. And I couldn't feel the steps under my feet as I walked up. And I was like holding on to the seats next to me. And suddenly there were people there. And I didn't want to grab them. So I yelled to my daughter, Kelly. And she turns around. She says, the man on the other side of the aisle had his arms out to catch me. She comes down, takes my hand. And from the waist to the feet, I really was like numb and tingling. And the next thing I knew, I was in the emergency room. I went to see a neurologist and he sent me right to the emergency room. All these tests were being done. And finally, I was diagnosed with MS. And it was pretty overwhelming. And again, I had this mirror practice, which you can read about in the book. But I really got very honest with myself that night and said, okay, how do you want to show up for this whole experience? And then I couldn't drive. I couldn't work. I really wasn't doing much anything but running to doctor. And I was home. So all of a sudden I was like, it's time to write the book. You're home. It's quiet. I called up my son, who like is an amazing writer. He was always very good, even as a child. Like 10 years old, I'd pick up a notebook and I'd be like, how is he writing these things? How could he even know about this stuff? But he was just very intuitive. And so I said, Michael, it's time to write my book. Would you help me? I know, would you help me edit it? And he said, well, I've been waiting for you to ask me because, they all knew I was going to be writing a book eventually. So he and I began on this journey, which again was wonderful because now instead of sitting home sad and feeling like where was I going? My son was coming every weekend to my apartment and we were spending a couple of hours. I was writing the book through the week and then he'd come and we'd go through it and edit it. And it was just such an amazing project. It took a long time, but I was so happy. It took 2 years before it was actually published by the time we edited and I got someone to do the cover and all the rest that goes into a book. It just doesn't happen. But when I tell you the excitement and how happy I was about it, and once it got published, I got so much information or so much feedback from people that I hadn't seen in years, like maybe people on Facebook, people that were from my neighborhood when I was growing up, which I was so unexpected, saying how much the book helped them and how I had so many good points and stuff. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, really, really, again, thinking, see, when you really follow your heart and you stay in that right place and you choose the positive over the negative, it can have wonderful, unexpected joy, which I'm just about again, unexpected joy. After 4 months, I was driving again. And then slowly but surely, I started to integrate back into the things that I was doing.
Wow. You are certainly spreading your wings. I love that. I love that because You know, it's kind of, I feel like it sort of ties into something, because this song I'm going to sing, which is called Born to Spread My Wings, is really, it kind of reminds me your story about why you wrote the book, and the result of that. Sometimes we don't really know what impact our work is going to be, and or to have on other people. And in that moment, that song, really created, pretty powerful impact for someone else's life. And I keep hearing little stories about this particular song. So just as your book has helped to bring positive change to other people, this song has also done that for me. So I'm going to share it with you now. All the good I see, all that I can be, all the ways that Spirit unfolds and reveals in me every breath I breathe. Evermore I grow in the light I know. All the love I need flows through my darkness, healing me, teaching me as I breathe. So I live each day in love and grace and peace. I know I'm not alone. Yes, I live each day. Each breath I take, it fills my heart with joy. I was born to dance, I was born to sing, I was born to spread my wings. Indeed we were. So I live each day in love and grace and peace. I know I'm not alone. Yes, I live each day. Each breath I take, it fills my heart with joy. I am born to dance, I am born to sing, I am born to spread my wings. I am born to dance, I am born to sing, I am born to spread my wings. You can affirm that for yourself. I am born to dance, I am born to sing, I am born to spread my wings. I am born to dance, I am born to sing, I am born to spread my wings. I am born to dance. I can sing, fly my wings. Okay, so Noreen, I love that you sent this beautiful list on practical ways on creating joy in our lives. So if you could just embellish on that, just give us some quick points on how we can do that in our lives. Practical ways.
Okay, well, number one for me always has been, probably why I love you so much, Deidrey, is number one is music. Music has always been in my life, very powerful, and sometimes it lifts me up and sometimes it calms me down. Music has a beautiful way of doing that in both ways. Laughter. You have to laugh. It's so true that laughter is the best medicine. I mean, it just oxygenates the blood. It just creates this energy that's amazing. And also, I'll give you a little tip here, a smile. And if you don't feel like smiling, get a pencil. You automatically smile. And after 10 to 15 seconds of smiling, you actually release endorphins. So it just gets you a little bit happier. And it's so important. And another little trick, and the woman who I did this course with about writing the book, she had a little trick of taking a crayon and going, so what do you think of when you smell a crayon, right? It makes you laugh. It makes you go back to childhood, maybe, silly. These are all little techniques, simple. We're all looking for these big plans, but I really believe simplicity. The number 3 I put on there is movement, because move the body, change the mind. And again, we don't want to get stuck in the mind. We want to move it and get the energy going, and it's amazing what can happen. And if you just do a little something with me, I like experiential learning. So there's many things in moving. I mean, dance is number 1 for me. I love it. Okay. There's another one that you could just go, very good, yay! And just putting your arms up changes the energy. It changes the physiology in your body. There's a great talk on a TED talk, Amy Cuddy, on power poses. And just by like putting your arms up, what happens when people cross the finish line? They go, whoa! You know, it's just it's a triumph. And just by raising your arms, even in mountain and yoga, I always have my clients do this, and if you hold your arms up for 2 minutes in that position, it actually reduces cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and increases testosterone and confidence. You know, I invite you to try it. Just lift your arms up. I even read in a book once, or maybe it was in Amy's talk, that it would be so great if you're going into a job interview, before you go in, to just go, oh! You know, put your arms up in the air. You'd feel more confident. Of course, you'd also probably look pretty crazy, but maybe you could do that in the bathroom before you go in. But there's one little thing that I'd love you to just try, because it's so simple, it's so easy, and it really does change the physiology of the body. And that's tapping. And so I'm going to just ask you to just take your fingertips and go like this. I used to do this at a B&I, a business networking meeting, to wake everybody up in the morning. Tap, 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 top of your head. You're tapping your brain. You can give your brain a little massage, tap in the back, tap on the sides. And I hope you're doing this with me. Obviously, I can't see. And then, of course, the cheekbones, if you're not afraid to touch your face in these crazy times, but it's really good for your sinuses and all this, and go down your neck. And then you could do it with fingertips. You could do it with your hand. You could do it with your fist, but just go down to your hand and then come up under your arm. Then go back down, come back up. This can be done so quickly. And then clap, 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 and switch to the other arm. Switch to the other arm and go down the arm. You kind of, this wakes you up better than coffee. I'm not asking you to give up your coffee. I still haven't given up my coffee. But this certainly wakes me up. Gets the energy going, gets the meridians going. And then go like this, and then tap the thymus. That's good for the immune system. And right now we need to build our immune system too. Tap, tap, tap. We can do the whole body, but I'm going to ask you to just go to the legs now. We're sitting here, so I'm just doing the tops of my legs, the bottoms of my legs, the calves, right? Go to the other leg. And I mean, you could do this for as long or as short as you want, but I hope you've been doing it with me, because this is very brief, and I guarantee, stop for a moment. Just notice how you feel. Do you feel any different? Do you feel a little energy? This will oxygenate the blood. It'll just stimulate the meridians, and you'll just feel a little bit more energized, especially these days. I know for me, I'm much more sedentary than I was before being staying home all the time. So that's an important one. So I like to experience it, because experiential learning, you might do it. If you tried it and felt better, you might actually do it. And of course, take a walk. Who doesn't take a walk? My other tip is nature nurtures. I've said this a million times. Get out into nature. And if you could put your toes into grass or the sand or the ocean, that's even better. But get outside, even if it's just looking out your window. I have a beautiful window here, a skylight that you might even see over there. But anyway, there's a beautiful tree there that I constantly see and get to look at. So even if I'm not outside, nature, look at a sunset, look at a sunrise, look at the beautiful formation of the clouds. To me, it's all unexpected joy as well. So it's really fun. Nature is amazing.
I love these practical ways that Noreen shared on creating joy in our lives. And so I'm going to sing this one for you. It's called Fill Your Cup with Love. Fill my cup with love. I am filled with loving kindness. Let it overflow and grow all around the world. It renews my soul. We're gonna do fill your cup. Fill your cup with love. Fill your cup with loving kindness. Let it overflow and grow all around the world. Renew your soul. Fill my cup with love. I am filled with loving kindness. Let it overflow and grow all around the world. It renews your soul. Renew your soul. First, by filling your cup with love, with joy, with all of those things that you need. Just like Noreen said, learn to figure out what it is that brings joy into your life and do more of it, right? Just do more of it. I love it. I fill my cup with love. I am filled with loving kindness, and it overflows and grows all around the world. It renews my soul. It renews my soul. Renew your soul. Your soul. Fill your cup with love. Noreen, tell us where we can purchase your book, please.
Amazon.com. Where else? Don't we get everything on Amazon?
Good old Amazon. I love it. And we're going to put the link for you right down here so you can click on it and it'll take you straight to her book. Okay? Make sure you click on it.
Thank you.
Click on that and it'll take you straight to her book. But just wait till after the show. Oh my goodness. And you know what? And I just have this one last question for you, Noreen. I just want to ask you what it is that you want folks to take away from your presence here today.
Well, it's success principle number 1 that I've been teaching for years, and it's take 100% responsibility for your life. No complaining, no justifying, no comparing. And there's a little formula there, and it's the event plus my response equals the outcome. Okay, so it's E plus R equals O. And the important part is the response, because we cannot create the event, right? We can't control the events, but our response is our point of power. And that will affect the outcome. Just in everything that we've been saying, you can't be in 2 places at the same time. So if you're dealing in fear, your result is going to be a lot different than if you're in love. Okay? If you're building yourself up, a lot different than beating yourself up. So the event is there. You'll never control the event. And I've been practicing this again for 10 years since I've been working with Jack Canfield. And every time I want to complain or blame somebody, suddenly I think, ooh, how can I handle this? Again, it's another practice where you're really building that muscle. It's not always easy because, of course, don't we all want to blame and complain? But guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if they're wrong or what happened. Our own fate is in how we are going to respond to that event. That is going to be the result. And I want to also say two other things. Remember what lights you up. These are just finger lights, but I like to give them out sometimes at meetings to remind people. Remember what lights you up and do more of it. Because again, that changes your whole being. The small steps, like I showed you with my little shoes. Don't get overwhelmed, okay? We all want the whole plan. We want to have everything done and figured out. All we need is the very next step. When I used to talk to my clients, I said, don't worry about it. What's the next step? What's the next step? That's the most important. So don't beat yourself up. All right, so you overate, or you didn't go for your activity or whatever it was that you were supposed to do. What is your next step? Your response to the event equals the outcome. And of course, remember to always keep your eyes peeled for that unexpected joy.
I've got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I've got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy that I've got the love of spirit in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I have got the love of spirit in my heart. I've got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Come on now, where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Come on now, down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, and I'm so happy, so very happy. Oh, I have got the love of spirit in my heart. I am so happy, so very happy. Well, I've got the love of spirit in my heart. Oh yes, joy, joy down in my heart. It's, you know what, this song can go on for ages. I love it. As long as you remember you've got all that joy you need. That's right. Oh yes, down in my heart to stay. You know what? I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I just want to thank each and every one of you for those who have donated and given your tips. Please know that you are so very appreciated. But I want you to remember foremost that your presence here is a tremendous gift. It is a huge gift to me. Thank you so much for everybody being here. And if this episode touched you in any way, please share it with someone or invite them to the next show. Noreen, I'm just so grateful that you chose to be here with us today. Thank you so much for your presence. I agree. And infectious enthusiasm, definitely. And you know what? I know that you have one more, like an affirmation that you want to leave us with. So just before I close and we take off and go enjoy the rest of our Sunday, would you just please tell us that affirmation that we can kind of use throughout the week?
Empowered by joy, I follow my path with courage and confidence.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Deidrey, really. This was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Noreen. I love you.
I love you.
See you next Sunday at 1:30 for another episode of Here to Bloom. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with a happy song in your heart and a pep in your step. Thank you so very much for your listening ears, your loving hearts, your open minds, and awesome light-filled presence. Stay safe. Here I come. Here I come. Woo-hoo. I'm spirit-filled, renewed, and on my face, and I'm ready to face the world. Here I come. Take it. Here I come. I love it. Here I come. Oh yes, here I come. I am harmonized, braided and revised. I've got love in my heart and the courage to start. I am on cloud nine, one with the divine, gratitude and grace, and I'm ready to face the world. Here I come. Woohoo! Hey, here I come. Here I come. Oh yes, here I come. All right, we're just gonna do a dance off now. Woo. Here I come. We're getting our joy on. The robot. I love it. Thank you so much, Noreen. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This was so fun. More unexpected joy.
Yes, indeed. Bye for now, everybody. Mwah.